Namaskar and welcome to this exciting episode of Sattology Debunking Mythology. And welcome to this show where we are talking about languages. Now, as you all know, but I'll again repeat for your reminding you that Sat means is a Sanskrit dhatu which means truth or eternal. Means truth is eternal. You don't have to change it. Combined with logos, it becomes Sattology, the science or study of truth. Opposite of that is mythology, which comes from the Sanskrit dhatu called myth. It's in Devanagari, ma, chota e ki matra, and tha, not the English language. Mythology means science or study of fake, lie, or imagination. And so the mythology destroys your identity. Sattology builds your identity. You've seen that many times. If you call someone who has faith in Bible, say according to biblical mythology, they get very offended. But when I see Indians referring to their history as mythology, according to Hindu mythology, it breaks everybody's heart because they're actually saying that they don't have a valid history. In my 11 books, and there are numerous authors on this channel, they have come, they have proved Mahabharata, Ramayana are historical facts with details, with proofs. So we should not call our history as mythology. I have a very, very special guest. I had a chance to visit him recently. It was his birthday and visited him in his home. And he has compiled a few words that will strike you, especially for those who are speaking Hindi language. Because the Hindi language, most of you do not know, historically it came after Urdu because it was purified by Madan Mohan Malviya. And before that, Sanskrit was the main language being spoken. Most of the Pali, Prakrit, most of the languages, even most of the languages like Marathi, Telugu, they have more Sanskrit words than even Hindi. So without delay, let us welcome Sri Prakash from LA. Namaskar, Prakash ji.
Namaskar.
So welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, sir. It's an honor.
And also, I see the birthday sign is still there, so it is wonderful.
It just happens to be today.
Every day is a birthday as far as sunrise goes.
Yes.
So it's everyone has it. So how did you come up with making a specific effort on highlighting this issue of so many non-Hindi words becoming part of the regular Hindi lexicon?
Well, I was just studying the language and just speaking Hindi growing up. I always paid attention to the words that we use in the language. And it always bothered me that the words that we use, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you very clearly.
So the words that we use, I noticed that weren't proper or weren't the proper word that we should be using. And from the years of speaking Hindi and watching, of course, movies, Hindi movies, I noticed that the words most of the words have the Islamic roots and also the English roots. So and then I said, let's just start making a list of the words that we use incorrectly. And whenever we sit down with friends and family, I always made a point that the words that we use are incorrect. And a lot of people got annoyed, of course, that I always correct them. No, this is not the right word that you're using. And of course, I got some backlash for it, and the family would get all like they would get annoyed. So, but I continue on, and I continue to make the list of words that we should be speaking, and long and behold, I came up with sort of almost like a dictionary. So whenever I need to search that word, I have that word that we should be using. So I made an effort. I mean, I've been talking to you, and I figured, let's get the word out. And let's make people aware that the words we use are incorrect and we should be using proper words. So that's how that idea came upon.
Did you know that the Indian freedom struggle, USA had a big contribution in that Indian freedom struggle? Udham Singh stayed in El Centro. He came to El Centro, and then went to UK.
I
So,
see.
the Americans Ghadar Party was formed, which was supported Indian independence movement, was formed in California. So
Mhm.
the California has played a big role in Indian independence movement also. Probably the language independence movement also will be led by you. In
I see.
so I know that you are also planning to write a book on this,
Yes, indeed. Yes,
and
indeed.
and I think that will be a big contribution to people. One of the things I see, then most of the Bollywood movies, they use only writers which are from Pakistan or singers from Pakistan,
Hmm.
and all those things they do, and invariably the even the movie which came out, Pushpa, the the words of the songs are mostly Urdu, not Hindi.
That is so true.
So, and but if you look at the South Indian movies, they use most Sanskrit words,
That
and
is,
gradually Triple R had come, and then other movies had come, and that's why they're getting more popular in the Hindi belt after
yes,
dubbing. But the
yes.
but the game they played is in the dubbing. When they dub it, they make it with Urdu words.
Were the words, yeah.
So what do you think? Is that a conspiracy? What do you feel in that?
I mean, as we know, Bollywood is run by mostly Khans, and so they have a big contribution in that. As you said, like some of the very well-known writers are Muslims, and the words that they use basically get spoken in the movie or in the script, and people think that these are the words that are the correct words. And over the years, I mean, we've noticed even the lyrics of the songs that we play are majority are Urdu words and have that Islamic roots. And I just want people to realize that we have a treasure. We have our mother language, Sanskrit, which gave us so many words and such a wonderful language, and we've forgotten so many words from it, and we just keep on making mistake and keep on using those words. And um, I think it's a time that people realize that we need to start using proper words.
In one of my books, Gold, Glory, and God, which I also gifted you, one
Yes,
of the principal ways of colonization were changing the language. Like if you see, there are Mexico has 1,000 native languages, 1,000
I
native
see.
languages, but they banned them. Filipinos had Filipino Tagalog. Tagalog is a Brahmi script. It's a Hindi language.
Oh, I see.
And they were forcibly, when they were converted, the Spaniards said, you cannot speak any other language other than Spanish. So when you go
Mhm.
to there and you see a Filipino guy with a Portuguese, with a Spanish surname,
Yes.
and they banned it. And I usually go to Brazil a lot. And in fact, one of my books I wrote over there. And in Brazil, there is no reference of native Brazilian culture. It's only Portuguese they teach.
Oh, I
So
see.
language was used as a main colonization basis, and unfortunately, fortunately, you and I are talking in English.
Sure.
I tell my viewers also that we are a little bit being hypocritical, but we are trying to make it understand to the Americans that how the language works.
Works. Yeah.
And so we are speaking in that language. So you have presentation also. You can share it right now.
Sure. Sure. Sure.
And while you're sharing it, I'm going to ask you another question.
Sure.
So, what do you think the language has an impact on the psyche of a person?
Well, language makes up the culture, and to me, it seems like by using those improper words, we're forgetting our culture. And we have a very treasureful culture. I mean, Sanskrit and us. I hate to use the word Hinduism. We have the Sanatan Dharma that. basically eternal, and I think we need to understand that we have such a treasureful language and treasureful culture that we need to cultivate that and dig up that lost treasure by using proper words and proper um, culture with that. So here's the presentation that I want to share. Uh,
So while you're sharing the presentation, I can say that yes, the language plays a major role on the psyche. It changes the behavior. It changes the, and then that's why the language is so much force. Like in the Mughal rule, Farsi was imposed. Farsi was the official language. During the
yeah.
British rule, English was the official language.
Mm-hmm.
And after the British rule, unfortunately, the emphasis on English language, and even though there are, I must say also that English has come from Latin, and the Latin has is directly come from Greek, and Greek is directly Sanskrit language. Many countries like Lithuania, Latvia, they are all Sanskrit based languages even today. So the you can continue with the presentation in the next slide.
I
uh,
see.
you know, you can tell us more
So
about it.
okay, so the I gave it a title, Islamization of Hindi. Rather sounds controversial, but it's just the fact that we have been using these words without realizing that most of the words come from that Islamic root. So, how the original words, Hindi words, got substituted with that of invaders. As we know, India was invaded, um, and there's a history of that. All the people from that region, the Turks and the Arabs, Mongols, Mughals, they came and they forced us to use only their words. And the nation that basically taught the whole world, um, and its whole education system was destroyed at that time. And it's such an unfortunate thing that, as you said, all the Lithuanian and some of those languages came from Sanskrit, and people just came from all over the world to learn the Sanatan Dharma, and they took so much from India, and now these people came and they destroyed the whole education system. So over the years, the original words were forgotten. Believe me or not, I think if I'm saying 60 to 90% of the words today we speak have in Hindi have that Islamic root, um, you would be surprised. But that is true. And with that, I think some of us take one of the things I want to mention, that some of us take pride in talking in English and Urdu or Hindi, and it just shows that we need to. It just shows that we need to start using our proper words and proper language. And I'll give you some of the examples. Why do we use these words in a later slide? But these words are spoken unknowingly. Partly it's just out of ignorance. And the list is of incorrect words we use is endless. So, and I'm going to make an effort to just show you some of these words in a later slide, as I said. But lots of these words were taken from our language, Sanskrit, and tweaked. So words like Akash, it comes from Avkash, and like Ag is Agni, and a lot of those words have been taken and tweaked around. And I speak Gujarati. This is my mother tongue. Growing up, we spoke Gujarati, and I noticed in Gujarati also a lot of the words we use have we've forgotten our original words, and we have been using these words unknowingly, the improper words. So why am I doing this thing? I'm doing this to create awareness, and to revive our culture, to revive our languages. Some of the words that we speak today versus what should be the proper Hindi words. If you do, you and I talked about these words, Zameen and Dharti. For us, it's not just a piece of land. We have a deeper meaning for our word Zameen, or the land. We worship them as Ma or Bhumi or Vasudha. So we have a really deep meaning. Our rishis really thought about this thing, and when they came up with these words, they really concentrated on this word and had a real meaning for the words. The word Gai actually comes from Go, or we call them Mata also, Go Mata. And I know one of your cow's name is Surbi, correct?
That's right.
So, and then I'm not sure if the viewers know the word aurat, what it means in Arabic. It has a just very improper meaning to it, and how we see our women in our Hindu or Indian Vedic culture. We worship them as our Devi, which is the goddess. So this is the difference we need to realize. That
I'll add over there, the word aurat comes from Horus. Horus means biological.
I see.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Biological, yes. So I think one of the words, I mean, I don't know if I can say that, but the meaning of the aurat, you and I will talk about it later. And look at the word Ardhangini. How thoughtfully it came upon that word. I mean, Ardhangini, she's a part of it, like she's a Ardha Ang. So this is how respectful our culture is, and we need to realize this thing. One of the words we keep using is Bura or Kharab. It's and look at the words that we have that we can use instead of that, and we keep on using ye to bahut bura hai, ye to bahut kharab hai, and in each context we can use so many different words.
And galat and sahi are Arabic words.
That is true. Galat and sahi are Arabic words, and the list just goes on. I have a whole dictionary here, and also in Hindi movies, we keep on hearing this word, muskurahat, muskuran, hasi, and like a lot of the songs, we keep on hearing this song and not realizing the proper words. Another words that we keep on hearing is bahut zyada, behad, and those are Arabic words. So the list is on. These are just the common words that we keep on using without realizing I put it there. The next slide is again common words. So what I noticed is that almost all words, you would be surprised, almost all words starting with letter ka, fa, ba, ja, and ma have that roots, and you can see it in the list here that Kamzor and Koshish, Kayam, Khabar, Fark. So, as I said, so words starting with Ba, which is like a Badal, Badla, Badbu, all come from either Persian, have the Persian or the Arabic roots. And I mean, I don't want to bore the viewers, but the list is just endless. And one of the last things I want to say is that why should we use proper words? Obviously, as we all know, the words we use were forced upon us by the invaders. So, and as I said in the beginning, the words that make up languages portray culture. I think we should be proud of our culture, and we should use our own words in when we speak Hindi. Um,
Very striking was the word that you used was Jai Hind,
Jai.
and you quoted Arab Hindi Shabdakosh, in which the meaning of the word Hindu is a black or thief or a, it's just, people can search it also on Google. It's available. A
Yes,
thief, a dark person, a, so all these the including a, like both a chor makkar,
Chor
that was
Makar. Yes,
that is the word Hindu, the land of such people. And because uh, the racism is built into the Arabic culture by design. Like,
mm,
that's why they had black slaves. So all the North Africans became slaves for the first Rashidun Caliphate. Had Maxim used to sell slaves, and
yes,
from them the Christian invaders to Africa picked up that practice. So they continued the Islamic practice of selling humans as slaves, and that's how these people were brought to USA and other countries. But it is, the origin is in the around 10th or 11th century,
I see.
and then it became worse in 16th century or 17th century. Like when the country of the size of Ghana was sold for 7 slaves and 12 gold coins.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that was the price of the entire country of Ghana, Gold Coast. Even today, Ivory Coast, that was the practice there. Now, tell me one thing.
Hmm,
When we talk about the solutions, because the Sanskrit, the use of Sanskrit is respected by everybody, including Americans, including everyone else.
sure.
There are many scholars. There is a American Sanskrit Society. I learned spoken Sanskrit from them. If
I
I want
see.
to call Dr. Krishnamurti, if you're watching, I want to invite you. So, the Dr. Murthy taught us, and then we are using the same syllabus to learn spoken Sanskrit.
I
But
see.
the now I teach also based on his course, and but the point is that like a simple introduction. How are you, Bhavata Kim? Now Bhavata Kim looks so elegant. Bhavata Kim, and it has a meaning is totally different. That what is your mental status today, what is your physical status, what is your, how is your spiritual status. Now English language, how are you, is the most boring question. 3 words you can ask anyone, how are you? Because you don't know where to start with.
True, true,
On what is the reference point from which you're asking, 6 a.m., 7 a.m., because my moods change every hour.
true, true, true.
So my question to you is, how do you see the solution for this?
Um, I mean, it's a long process. I mean, we all need to realize this, that what we speak makes us, and how it affects our behavior. It affects everything. So I think we need to just come up with that again. So yeah, we have, as I said earlier, that our Sanskrit language is full of treasure, and if you go further deep, you'll see that it has a lot of the words that have such a like a deep meaning. And in the words we speak in Hindi, of course, aren't Sanskrit, but um, a lot of the words that you can substitute. And I just want people to realize that we need to have some pride um, of our culture. And having said that, I think we need to start using our proper words. So if anyone needs help looking for proper Hindi substitute words, or if you have any question, you can contact me at this website or at the email that I put it there. And I just made this email, and it says Uchit Shabda, means proper word. So you can reach me at uchitshabda@gmail.com. And I mean, I don't have much more to say, but I want to appreciate you having me on the show. And I just want to say Jai Bharat. Um, and I guess we'll continue to converse. But if you have any other
one
questions.
last point I have is that we get into the shero shairi mode and we always say wah wah.
Wow.
And that is the origin of that is very bad. Like in terms of is almost coming from walla walla, which is
Ah,
almost like celebrating a dancing girl.
I see.
And then and the another words we use and very commonly we use irshad, and I think you must have researched it already.
Yes,
So
indeed.
the point is that it has become so ingrained in our psyche that
Psyche.
we are not able to even dissociate ourselves with that, you know. So
True,
any
true.
closing words you'd like to give? So on the slide 6, audience who is watching, his email is there, uchitshabd@gmail.com. So you just check on the spelling to slide 6, and then you can send us comments to him for language if you want. And later, you should release your book as soon as possible.
Yes, yes. I'll be consulting you on that, and I'll be needing your help for sure because you're the expert on the in that.
Thank you so much, and thank you all the viewers for watching. And thank you. Do comment on the video and share widely so that more and more people know. And there are many other fantastic videos on Sattology. You can connect over there and let us know your feedback. We only ask your support in the form of comments. So you can do that and let us know your feedback. Namaste. Thank you.
Namaskar, Aditi.